Hello there. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be discussing differentiated content, process, and product. To introduce myself, my name is Melissa Klein. I'm a graduate student in pursuit of my master's in education at Post University with concentration in curriculum and design. I'm currently working as a full-time ultrasound technologist, and my hope is to create and found the first Bachelor's of Science ultrasound program in the state of Montana. To begin with, I think it's most necessary to define what exactly differentiated instruction is. Differentiated instruction is a way of teaching with the student continually in mind. Students are at the center of instruction, and teachers are proactively planning and collaborating with students to reach learning goals. Instruction is individualized to make learning meaningful to each student as an individual. A differentiated classroom offers students multiple options for acquiring content, processing new concepts, and creating products to demonstrate their understanding. Teachers are constantly assessing their students' content, process, and product to evaluate the goals of the instruction in relation to what the student is learning. This presentation will dive further into what differentiated content, process, and product looks like and how to apply it to my future educational environment of a higher education ultrasound program. Content refers to the input of teaching and learning. The reason to differentiate content should be to help students understand rather than memorize. In order for educators to differentiate content, the content should be meaningful to students personally, relate to their interests, and help students make connections between different facets of a subject that they've already learned. Educators should differentiate content based on the student's interests, their personal learning profile, and their readiness to learn. To apply content differentiation to my future educational context of a higher educational ultrasound program, the first area of content differentiation is the access students will have to the content materials. Learners will be given multiple avenues to acquire the curriculum content, such as PowerPoint, different textbook readings, drawings, and videos. Dr. Tomlinson described how using multiple text combined with a wide variety of supplementary materials increases an educator's chance of connecting to students individually. Another way that I can differentiate content in my personal learning environment is through a peer mentorship program. Students will be paired with a buddy when entering the ultrasound program. Their buddy will be in the class above them. Both the student being mentored by the upperclassmen and the upperclassmen will benefit from this relationship. Students have a resource for questions, and mentors are given the opportunity to teach, which further develops their understanding of the subject too. Process means sense making. To differentiate process is when instructors offer time for students to make sense of the new ideas, information, or skill they learned. Process is an essential part of learning because students must make sense of new ideas and concepts in their own way. In order for understanding, students must have time to analyze, question, apply, and make sense of new concepts. Additionally, each person processes information in two ways. He or she reflects on the concept and then acts by applying their new knowledge to the world around them. Classroom activities that promote effective process are personally interesting to students, cause the students to think at a high level, and cause students to use skill strategies to solve key ideas. According to Dr. Tomlinson, a good differentiated activity is something students will make or do. Differentiated process should revolve around what the student's current understanding or skill is, help them make connections to new concepts personally, and give them options to make sense of a new idea in their preferred way of learning. To differentiate process in my future educational ultrasound program, I will offer students the option to process new material in small groups or work independently. Working in small interest-related groups allows students to be exposed to new facets of a topic that they may have not discovered on their own. Additionally, giving students the option to process new ideas alone may fit best for their preferred way of learning. One specific in-class activity that would help students process the new concept of understanding ultrasound scanning planes is to work in groups or alone, creating a model of something simple with Play-Doh, such as an organ or fruit, or really whatever the student desires. Then we'll have the student practice slicing the model to reveal how an ultrasound image is created. This activity allows students to process the concept of ultrasound scanning planes by creating something that physically reflects the idea that I want them to learn. Product assignments should help students rethink, extend, and reuse what they have learned over a long period of time. Product differentiation should be a long-term endeavor that demonstrates student higher order thinking and understanding. Products represent a student's extensive understanding and application of their knowledge. Product assignments not only allow students to demonstrate through a final product what they know and how they own it on a particular part of the curriculum, but they are also an excellent way for educators to assess the student's understanding, skill, and knowledge. When differentiating a product, expectations should be made very clear to the students. The assignment instructions must involve and clarify exactly what the student should understand, what skills they must exhibit, and what knowledge must be included in their work. The final product should focus on the goals of the curriculum while leaving room for a student to express their innovation and unique thought. Some helpful guidelines offered by Dr. Tomlinson are that products should help students make connections to the real world. They should inspire passion to the topic. They should support different modes of expression. And they should require that students use diverse methods for resources. For my future educational environment, a final differentiated product assignment that would benefit my students would be to have students create a detailed liver model. The liver model would be a final product after a term of studying the human liver and all of its many facets. The expectations for what the student should create and how it applies to their previous understandings and what knowledge they must exhibit would be made very clear. Students would be given the option to choose a specialized facet of the liver that they would like to add to their model, such as vascularity, the biliary system, or liver function. This final product would allow students to demonstrate their overall understanding of the liver and show how they own the knowledge of certain aspects that they find personally interesting. To summarize this presentation, content refers to the input of teaching and learning. Dr. Tomlinson described how using multiple texts combined with a wide variety of supplementary materials increases an educator's chances of connecting to students individually. I will differentiate content within my educational environment by giving students multiple avenues to access the curriculum content, such as PowerPoint, different textbook readings, drawings, and videos. Additionally, students will be paired with a buddy when entering the ultrasound program. Both the student being mentored by the upperclassmen and the upperclassmen will benefit from this relationship. Students will have access to a mentor for resource questions, and the mentors are given the opportunity to teach, which further develops their understanding of the subject. Process means sense making. To differentiate process is when instructors offer time for students to make sense of the new ideas, information, or skill they've just learned. Process is an essential part of learning because students must make sense of new ideas or concepts in their own way. In order for understanding, students must have time to analyze, question, apply, and make sense of new concepts. To differentiate process in my future educational environment, I will offer the option for students to process classroom content within interest-based groups or alone. Specifically, a process activity that I will use is the Playdown ultrasound scanning planes activity, where students will create a model of something simple with Play-Doh and then practice slicing the model in different orientations to reveal how an ultrasound image is created. Product differentiation should be a long-term endeavor that demonstrates student higher order thinking and understanding. Products represent a student's extensive understanding and application of their knowledge. To apply a differentiated product to my educational environment, students will create a detailed liver model specializing in a certain aspect of the curriculum that they would like to research further. This final product will allow for students to demonstrate their overall understanding of the liver and show how they own the knowledge of certain aspects that they find personally interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and here are my references.